everyone's parents, when I was in school, had injured. And so
when I was in high school, I got into an automobile accident, and I got prescribed pain medicine. I went home and I remember taking the first OxyContin, and it made me feel great. You know, everything's clicking. You don't have the back pain anymore, and it just all around makes you just happy. It's just a euphoric rush.
the first time I tried OxyContin, it just numbed me and gave me energy. I love the way it made me feel. Anyone that takes an OxyContin or a drug like this is going to like how it feels. You can't fight that feeling. Everybody was talking about it.
I learned there was a whole new world just for this drug as far as getting high. It's a time release drug. It's supposed to last 8 to 12 hours. But if you choose the drug, you get a big dose of medicine.
I would hear things like, well, you can break those down with ease. OxyContin hit you really hard. Once you get that feeling, that numbness, I wanted to feel like that every day. Feel like that every day.
I mean, honestly, when I take alcohol, I take a half. Oh, don't take a half. You get a full dose like immediate, because it's supposed to be spread out over 12 hours.
They thought I was crazy, but I thought that maybe I could constantly stop them before they got addicted.
One day I brought in a prescription to Bradley's, and Dan Snyder's behind the counter, and he greets you like he always does. And he started asking some questions about why I'm getting this medicine. I told him I was experiencing back pain, but I was pretty sure I was addicted to the medicine at that point. You understand, man. This is my own perspective. You don't have to come back. It can happen to anybody. I'll try to help it.
Robbie admitted that he was on the wrong track, just like my son. And it shocked me that he was prescribed such a strong pain medication from a doctor.
He started asking some questions about the doctor that prescribed this medicine. I told him Dr. Lucien had opened up her own practice not too far from here on Shep Highway.
This was a seedy part of New Orleans, not far from St. Bernard.
It's not a business epicenter for professionalism. You have a lot of little independent motels that, rent by the hour, if you get what I'm saying. I figured maybe the rent was cheap and she was just starting out. It was a very small pediatric clinic. She was a pediatrician that was going into pain management. I remember the first time I walked in, most of the chairs were little small chairs that kids sit in. There was no one else in the building but her.
He said her name was Dr. Jacqueline Claggett.
Dr. Claggett was very attractive, very personable, charming, very, very sweet. And I remember distinctly, she would write 3 drugs. Patients were getting the OxyContin, the Soma, and they were getting Xanax, which was called the Holy Trinity.
Even though the OxyContin itself is very strong, it would just give that extra kick to make it feel more like a heroin effect. I wasn't actually a patient of Dr. Claggett, but everybody that was using in the parish knew who was getting their refill on what day, and you knew to go to their house, and when they got home, they would have people waiting outside their door for them to get home with their prescription.
I think that many of these kids are getting these pills, and they are abusing it. If I'm right, she shouldn't be giving prescriptions for this Oxycontin.
At Bradley's, we had a way of running a computer printout. The printout would show the frequency the drug was prescribed and the doctor prescribing it. I ran a printout to find out how many OxyContin prescriptions we were filling at Bradley's. And when I ran this thing and I looked at the paperwork on it was a routine. OxyContin, 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 Dr. Claggett, Dr. Claggett, Dr. Claggett, Dr. Claggett. 90% of our prescriptions were OxyContin and 99% of them were Dr. Claggett. The amount of prescriptions that Dr. Claggett was prescribing was totally overwhelming. I couldn't believe the magnitude. Dr. Claggett was putting these people straight to OxyContin 40 milligrams. She never started them at reduced doses and then worked their way up because of their pain. She started them high. I said, my God, look at this. What's going on here? I feared that Dr. Claggett might be doing more harm than good. But when I really started questioning patients about what was going on in there, the owner of the Bradley's, Mr. Claude, started looking at it as harassment. And all he saw was it cost him business. Because if I ran these people away, they'd just go to another store. So I started investing my time in trying to convert some of them, which I didn't have a lot of success. Every now and then, I made progress.
Is it that woman out there? Claggett? She didn't tell you? No. Well, that's dangerous medicine. You gotta be careful how you take it. How long have you been going to Claggett? 2 or 3 years.
The information was right in front of me for the asking.
How many people would you say she has that night? I mean, 10, 20, 30?
Oh, good going now, about 100.
Any of them on crutches?
It was becoming more and more apparent in our community that if you wanted to fill a script, Bradley's was not the place to go. And Dan was going to call you down on it.
One day, a girl came in. Her name was Sharon. She was a really clean